They're not the nicest of birds, apparently. They're the ones that can really attack you. So you've got to treat them with respect. They look quite colourful, quite attractive looking birds, but they've got a bad disposition. Well, my computer seems to be running okay. I got the hard disk, the SSD, the solid state drive, put in the 500 gig drive, the Samsung drive, on it was returned to me on Friday, so I've had a couple of solid days testing it. It seems to work fine. I was edited one of the videos on the machine and it's running fine. Funnily enough, when the repair guy came round, he and turned it on, it came up with this really strange Asus sort of screen that was green and sort of distorted looking, and it looked really sick. And it finally booted up the computer. It booted up pretty quickly, but it didn't look right. You know, it wasn't the same as it used to be. And I had a few issues with it the first day. It freezing up a couple of times. I was able to retrieve it, but yeah, it was a bit of a problem the first day, Friday. But it seemed to be perfectly okay once I'd shut it down at night and started following on the Saturday morning. Everything was back to normal and it was pretty stable. There was no issues. So I'm not sure what he did, but he actually, when he dropped it off, he was deleting a file, and it was still deleting after he'd left, and then it came up with a whole lot of messages saying this is a vital file, do not delete this. So it's like a yeah, it's one of the operating system files or whatever, and you won't be able to run programs. So I had to keep clicking not to delete those ones. So whether or not that was the right thing to do, I don't know, because he'd already left. So and I'd slipped him an extra for $50. It was, the original quote was 300, but then he complained about how much work it had been involved, and so I sort of reluctantly gave another 50, but it sort of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, because, you know, he said I didn't have to, because he said he quoted to 300, he'd stay with that. But yeah, when this is actually, it's only happened to me twice in my life where people have quoted on jobs and then they've sort of started to complain about it not being enough. The first time was with a guy who did a steam cleaning of my furniture, and sort of about 3/4 of the way through the job he started complaining this is much bigger than he expected, and I didn't pay him any extra in his case, but I wasn't impressed, and it's happened again. And I mean, I think this guy's I'm not saying he's not a good operator, but he's left a sour taste in my mouth. God, look how many kids are waiting to get on the bus. This is extraordinary. I might have go over that side too, get in the shade. No point me suffering. Well, I just discovered why there was all these kids waiting here at the stop. It's a school bus pickup. I've never seen it before though. Isn't that strange? When it's a new service, possibly. It seems like everybody's pulling out of the road at the moment. Very strange behaviour. Now I don't know whether the bus has actually gone up to the terminus yet. I'd say probably not, but you just don't know. So look, I might pop over the other side now. It is good to be in the shade, but as long as it isn't too long. But I haven't seen the bus yet. I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, this is more normal, just me here by myself. Yeah, that was very strange, because I've seen school kids here before, but nowhere near that number. Maybe a couple waiting for the bus, but 2 or 3 max. But yeah, that was a huge number. Maybe that the bus was being late. It's been always running. I just haven't seen it before. I finally found out that the local Woolworths in Trinity Beach is definitely going to happen. The time frame is incredibly disappointing because they say late 2023. I mean, how long does it take to build a supermarket? It's up near the roundabout, near the actual highway, the Cook Highway. Look, it might open earlier than that, but that seems awfully long term. And the Miami Street, which connects Kilwara to Trinity Beach, is only about a block from there. So that's going to be quite busy, I think, given that that's the closest supermarket in the area. So the residents there may not be too happy to discover that the Woolworths is right up, I think it's opposite Centenary Park is where they're going to build it. But again, it looks as though construction's not going to commence for a while. I'm not sure what the time frame is to build a supermarket. I wouldn't have thought it'd be that long, but I bet you they do them quickly overseas, especially in Asia. But here, especially in FNQ, everything seems to take forever. Although it looks like Miami is almost open. They've just got the sign blocking traffic at the moment, but all the infrastructure seems to have been built, so I think that's going to be a goer pretty soon. Within a week, I would estimate, but I'm only guessing.
Another Monday, and it's another hot day. This heat wave hasn't abated yet. There appeared to be some rain activity that went as far as Yorkeys, and it just basically dissipated as soon as it got anywhere near Kawara, so that wasn't any relief. Right now it is 30 degrees according to my online guide, and it feels like 33. So, and it's just slightly after 8 o'clock, so that's pretty insane. It's 10 past 8, and that's hot in anyone's language, I think, at that hour of the day. God, already 3-0, feeling like 33, and my little heat rash is sort of quite prickly, so it's quite unpleasant. It took me about half hour before the itching stopped, before I went to bed. Got to sleep last night. I mean, it feels great having the aircon on, and you could just, if you leave the room, you can feel the difference immediately. It just feels like you're walking into an oven in any other room in the house. But yeah, it's damn hot, and just want this heat wave to be broken by some rain, but there's nothing on the horizon right now, whereas other parts of the east coast have been bucketed. So yeah, this is the toughest summer. Well, it's not even summer yet, it's just pre-summer. It's the toughest weather I've had to encounter up here. Do like these trees, these ones that have got the sort of the fire flowers. They're really nice. Yeah, they're looking great this time of year. Anyway, a little bit of shade walking along the nature strips here. Just going to do a bit of a mow. So that's Dramana. It's just down there, Dramana. And I'll get to the bus stop. I'm going to go on this side because I've got some shade. So, oh man, yeah, it's brutal, all right. Yeah, this side of the road's not so bad. Bit of protection. I wonder if there'll be a whole lot of school kids waiting at the bus stop like there was last time. Just they're waiting for the private school bus, not the public one. Some contrast getting out of the bus, just total gush of hot air. It's quite cool inside the bus, actually, probably too cool. The contrast is that stark. Yeah, last week I forgot to mention, when I actually got the bus to the Smithfield Shopping Centre, a whole lot of young group got on the bus there, maybe about 6 to 8 people, and the BO level just went for skyrocketed. And luckily, the whole group got off the following stop at the university. So personal hygiene may not be a top priority at universities these days, because that was pretty toxic. But at least it was very short term, thank God. Boy, the contrast there was stark too. It was great when the air cleared. Anyway, today I'll be in an air-conditioned environment, at least in the morning. The mornings aren't too bad in the home. It's just that it gets really hot about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, after it's had those Bessemer bricks have had plenty of time to absorb heat, and it's pretty unpleasant. The guy that goes to uni got on board today at Trinity Beach, but he didn't get off at the university. Maybe they've shut down for the year. It wouldn't surprise me. Academics tend to log out pretty early on in the year. So maybe there's no classes happening now, but he got off at Smithfield, so that was a surprise too. Many surprises, and there's this woman whose mask's up, who seems to be, she gets on at all different stops with the same kids. And the poor kids have to wear masks, and they're probably only about 5 years old or something, maybe younger. I just think that's really bad, but doing that to a young kid like that, but it takes all kinds, I guess. Phew, it's horrible, horrible hot weather today. And I was actually talking to a nurse who just started work here for about last 3 months from the Philippines, and she was complaining about how hot it was. So yeah, it just puts in perspective, it is absolutely stinking hot. It looks as though I just missed the Trinity Beach bus. I actually got here at 42 minutes past 12. And it goes at 41 past. I mean, it's just amazing the number of times the buses are spot on time when you actually turn up here just slightly late. Because there are a lot of late buses around, but I can't seem to snare one when I actually turn up a little late myself, which is a pain. There's a girl just sitting just opposite me. She just decided to wander off across the highway. So who knows what's going on, but I might have to get the Palm Cove bus and do a bit more walking, which I'm not looking forward to because heat rash is kicking in a bit. So yeah, I should have just been a bit faster in my supermarket shopping. I could have probably cut a minute or so off. I didn't think I was going to be that close to when the bus left. I thought I'd given up on it basically, but I should have given up. I just happened to get the 110 to the bus stop on the Cook Highway just as the 111 was had stopped and was letting off a passenger, so I was able to transfer buses and get a lift down here. And I found out from the bus driver, very chatty bus driver, that Sunbus up here is now owned by a mob called Kinetic. It's a different bus company, Australian based in New Zealand and Australia and even in London. And so they've just taken over from Sunbus. So that's interesting information. I wasn't aware of that. And I question it because, well, I won't go into details. I don't want to get the guy into any trouble. But the companies have got their strict policies about where they can drop passengers off and pick them up and what have you. And so they keep to the bus stops. In the past, apparently it wasn't like that. They would actually, one stage they would pick you up from your from where you live. But of course that slowed the whole process down, because I guess having individual bus stops means that people congregate those bus stops, so the buses only stop, they don't stop as often. If you have people picking people up from their doors, I mean, the number of stops a bus has to do would be multiplied, I don't know how many times. You figure it out. Well, it's Saturday and I'm just heading down towards the shops to pick up some cheap gin, the clean skin gin. I should have done it yesterday actually. I had the opportunity to, but I'll put it off, and I'll pick it up today
it does give me an opportunity to have a bit of exercise. It's a 20-minute walk each way. The weather's a bit threatening, so I'm not going to even take the e-bike. And energy levels aren't great anyway. I need to force myself to do these walks, I think, like my neighbour Steve's doing. He walked 10 k's yesterday, so all the way up to Palm Cove and back. So hats off to him. He's doing the right thing. And yeah, we had a few drinks at the beach club during happy hour yesterday, and that was very pleasant because there was a lovely sea breeze, so that took the edge off it. It's quite still at the moment, but there's plenty of cloud cover, so I don't have to worry about getting the sun pelting down on me, so that's good. But it is threatening, but it's been threatening for almost half the week. And I've been checking out the radar, and it looks as though we're going to be awash with rain, but it just doesn't happen. The online map with the weather continually keeps changing. It has bands of rain, like it lasts an hour or so. It keeps changing them all the time because, you know, I guess weather's so unpredictable. And it's predicted 6 o'clock tonight. There'll be more rain. It's about 3:30 at the moment, so it should be safe, but you never know. So I guess the humidity's high, but at least there's no sun. And the peak temperature today, I think, was about 11 o'clock, which is a bit unusual. So quirks of weather. I wouldn't want to walk any longer this because I'm just suffering a bit with rashes and heat rashes and things, so that does limit my range a bit, but it will be good to get some exercise. Someone's exercising, they're doing some gardening. Hard work. All of the way through this particular walk, and I'm looking forward to getting back home. It'd be nice. It is quite humid, so even though there's no sun, it's still draining. Yesterday I actually sold a couple of shares that I've been waiting to move for some time. Not long, only about a week or so. Well, in the case of the Bega cheese ones, that would be 2 to 3 weeks I've been waiting for it to hit a price point I was happy with. So that's how I do it. I bought them very low, right at the trough on the charts at $3.13, and so it was a fair chance that they were going to go north of there, but nothing's guaranteed on the market, of course. And they eventually did, and they actually went higher than the figure that I'd actually put in for sell, so I could have squeezed even more profit out if I'd, say, just watched them and gone for a higher figure, but it can be quite stressful. So I just let it sit there at $3.47, and it got to about $3.52, something like that. So another 5 points. It wasn't bad. It could have, as it turned out, I made over 400 net from that transaction, so I was more than happy with that. I'd never bought those shares before, so I was a little nervous, but my radar seems to be okay at the moment. So if they, I put them in again for a buy at $3.13, but I don't know if I'll ever get that price, because that was an exceptionally low price. But it was just nice to take a profit because I'd been buying up so many shares this week. And now I'm looking at a lot more stocks when I look at those watch lists. I've got 3 separate ones. There's a few stocks there I wouldn't really touch, but quite a few of them I would actually consider purchasing. So it keeps me pretty busy scanning 3 lists like that. So I don't know, it could be at least 50 different companies that I'm looking at. You just never know what's going to happen. But I will definitely buy more Bega Cheese shares once the price gets right. No problem at all. The other one that I probably might sell next would be the Elders shares. They haven't got anywhere near what I need. They've got to go up $1, but that could happen. So we'll just see. As long as you've got lots of black ink, not red, you're doing something right. And it's impossible to reach perfection in the market anyway. The best you can do is get close to what you're looking for, but they'll always surprise you. Pretty quiet here on a Saturday. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.